Guys ready? Okay. Good morning. Thank you for being here. My name is Mark Arabo. I'm the president and CEO of the Neighborhood Market Association. We represent over 2,100 family-owned markets in California, Nevada, and Arizona. As you can see, we have a very diverse group of San Diegans here and leaders in our community. But we have one thing in common. We are strongly opposed to Council Member Sherry Leitner's proposed bag and tax plan. I'm going to be very frank. This ban and this tax against working families is a terrible idea. It's terrible because the solution is worse than the so-called problem. It's a classic case of politicians pretending to do something for the environment, in part to appease some environmental groups, without seeing the bigger picture and without seeing that they're hurting working families. First, this is important. Look at the scope of the problem. According to the U.S. Environmental Report Agency, plastic retail bags make up less than 0.5% of the waste stream. Let me repeat. The plastic retail bags account for less than 0.5% of the waste stream. This ban, however, will have reaching ramifications. It'll cost taxpayers more money when they buy groceries. It will cost mothers and fathers and brothers more money when they go shop for groceries. So it's no surprise that San Diegans are opposed. San Diegans are opposed to this tax. 54% of them say we don't want a bag tax. We don't want a bag ban. And under this ban, customers, our customers that we love so much, are going to be forced to pay $3 to $5 more every single time they shop at our stores. It's asinine. And Councilmember Leitner will tell you that they're exempting people with public assistance, which is great. But how about the working poor? How about the folks that live paycheck to paycheck that don't get food stamps or WIC? How about them? They're not covered. And they will be hurt by this proposed tax ban as written. For example, when you talk about paper bags, it takes more energy to manufacture paper than reusable bags. And let's not forget one simple fact. People like to reuse their bags. They reuse them for their cat litter, for their dogs. They reuse them to take their lunches to work. They reuse them for their waste baskets. So San Diegans are extraordinary. We like to save the environment and help the environment. But let's strike the balance between helping San Diegans, between having a green San Diego, and not tax San Diegans in this holiday season. Let's not tax them. And the bottom line is this ban and tax scam doesn't make sense. And we need your help, San Diegans. We've been shut out of City Hall. And Sherry Leitner and their folks are saying, we're going to push this through. We're going to tax San Diegans and we're going to bag plastic bags. So we need your help, San Diego. We want you to call Sherry Leitner at 619-236-6611. 619-236-6611 to let her know you should not tax San Diegans at this time. You should not ban plastic bags and in the guise of helping the environment, because what they're doing right now is wrong. And it's a bad idea for San Diegans, and we're going to take questions afterwards. We're here with a lot of community leaders. We have our Bishop McKinney from St. Stephen's Cathedral, community leader for generations and helping out the working families and working poor. We have Senator Wadi Dedda. They're going to speak also. We'll take questions afterwards, and we need your help, San Diego. Let's not tax working families in San Diego. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning. I'm George D. McKinney, the Bishop of the Southern California jurisdiction of the Church of God in Christ and founding pastor of the St. Stephen's Ministries. I have with me today the president of Pastors on Point, Reverend Benson, the representative of UAMIC, a African American Pastors Association, representatives from the Church of God in Christ, and the editor of the San Diego Voice and Viewpoint is also here with us. My friends, I've been a resident of San Diego for a long time. I've spent my life helping the less fortunate and the working class people who keep this city moving. This proposal would, for the first time, force San Diegans to start paying for their grocery bags. In essence, it's a tax, a multi-million-dollar tax a year on San Diegans. And with the cost of living on the rise, I can tell you the last thing we need today from government is something that will make life even more difficult for people, especially our working families. Government should be coming up with ways to help people, not hurt them. Even with exemption for those receiving public assistance, this ban will impact hundreds of thousands of San Diegans, from senior citizens to working class people who struggle each month to make ends meet. Sure, a few extra bucks a week won't hurt people living in the more affluent areas, but in our community, it's a different story, a much different story. You know what else I'm unhappy about? It is simply this, that the large grocery stores like Vons and Ralph's are going to financially benefit from the new bag tax. That's right, the bag tax that people will now be forced to pay will go directly into the pockets of these large grocery chains like Ralph's and Vons. Why do you think the California Grocers Association is gladly supporting the ban? Because they get to keep the money. That's the reason. The bottom line is this. This is a money grab for the California Grocers Association and their Fortune 500 members. This just isn't fair, my friends. San Diegans are going to pay this tax and get nothing. It's not fair to working families. It's not fair to anyone. It's a raw deal for our working families and a heavenly deal for the grocery stores. Now let's be perfectly clear. I support the environment. More than 20 years ago, I submitted a chapter to a book that has been widely circulated around the nation, The Best Preaching on Earth, sermons and chapters on caring for the creation. You ought to pick up this book. It's a good book regarding the fact that this is God's world and we are responsible for keeping our environment. I support the environment as much as anyone, but this proposed bag ban is deeply flawed. I call on the city to drop this ban from consideration immediately and to get back to the business of truly serving the people of this great city. Thank you.
And next, Senator Wadi Dadda.
Your Excellency Bishop McKinney, Mark Arabu, I am standing here before you as a senior citizen. I'm 93 years old. My wife is 91 years old. And to force upon me to pay more sales tax every time I buy something because I have to pay for the bag, that is not the American way. I used to be the chairman of Revenue and Taxation in the state legislature. I tried to do something about sales tax because sales tax is the most un-American way at all, because the poor who are living on a handout from the government have to pay the sales tax the same amount that the millionaire and the billionaire pays. That is not. I was eaten alive, and my committee was eaten alive by the millionaires and the billionaires, and that bill stopped. You cannot ask people to pay what they cannot afford to pay. And I'm a senior, so I feel for the senior citizens in this country. I feel for the senior citizens in this state of ours. And the sales tax that they have to pay every time they go to shop, that is un-American. That is why I stand with Mark Arabu, the president and CEO of Neighborhood Market Association, with His Excellency the Bishop, to add my voice and speak in one voice that we are opposed to what the city of San Diego wants to do, and we ought to stop Leitner's legislation and kill it before it is born. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. We'll field a few questions and we'll do some one-on-ones. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. And it's such an important thing to talk about, because during this holiday season, the last thing San Diegans need is more taxes. The city of San Diego is trying to tax you through Sherry Leitner's proposal. So we need your help, San Diegans. Call our office and tell her, drop the bag tax and bag the ban. Thank you. Neighborhood Market Association. We represent 2,000